not have to keep living your life with these core wounds that are always like active in your system. You really don't. You really don't. So what I explained in the last video is that core wounds are the things that a lot of pain is associated with, and that gets stored in your body. It is stored in your body, so that gets triggered, and then you feel the pain of being a bad person, believing that you are a bad person, or you feel the fear of always doing something wrong. And this is why it's very hard to completely overcome or heal the fearful avoidant attachment style through talk therapy. I am all for talk therapy. I'm all for psychologists. Do not get me wrong on that. But the thing that sometimes or a lot of times is missing is that physical thing. So how do you release that fear? How do you release that feeling around it? Because you can know it, and that's a very valuable step. So that is where talk therapy is very valuable. And recognize recognize the patterns. But then how do you make sure you're not even triggered anymore? And that's where, for me, the real change started, and that was where the real gold was, when I started releasing the fear and releasing the really physical and visceral reaction I had. That's when I really started healing. So the way I did that was through EFT. If you've watched more of my videos, you know what that is. If you didn't, I'm going to explain really quickly. EFT is the emotional freedom technique, and it is also called tapping, and it makes use of acupressure points, which are the same points more or less as acupuncture points, except you don't use needles, you just use your fingers. It looks super weird. And you also use modern psychology in the sense of affirmations or the words you use while you are tapping. And it's a very powerful technique. It has helped millions of people, and it is perfect for releasing this fear, releasing feelings, and releasing emotional charge, because that's what a lot of core wounds are. They are emotional charge around some beliefs you have adopted to keep safe, actually, when you were a child. So I thought I can talk about it. I could talk about this for hours, but we could just tap also. We could just tap on this. So what we're gonna do is you can just repeat after me, do as I do and say as I say, and I will lead you through it. And if you're having trouble following the points, just go through it once with me and then come back and do it again more and more, so that you can actually be with the feeling, because that really helps. Yeah, so just kind of assuming you already know what EFT is, because I don't want to explain it every single video I use it. We are just gonna tap. So you can do as I do and say as I say. And we will take the very first, or yeah, the first core wound I talked about in the last video, which is feeling like you're always doing something wrong. So even though I always feel like I'm doing something wrong, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I always feel like I'm doing something wrong, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I always have this feeling I'm doing something wrong, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I'm just always doing something wrong, even when I don't know it, even when I'm not aware of it. People could point it out, and they could get angry, and I would be unsafe. I'm always doing something wrong. And I always find out later. And I'm so scared of doing things wrong. I don't want to do it. But it feels like I just can't help myself. I just always do something wrong. There's always someone unhappy with me. And I feel so guilty because of it. I want to do it right. And so often I try so hard. And I just can't seem to get it right. I always do something wrong. Even when I don't know it. And I hate that feeling. I can feel it in my body now. That feeling of always doing something wrong. And I'm open to letting it go. Because maybe it's not true. Maybe I'm not always doing something wrong. Maybe it just felt that way. Because somebody was always unhappy when I was younger. But maybe that wasn't my fault. And I was actually doing things right. Just being myself. Being a wonderful, perfect child. Exactly as a child is. Maybe it wasn't my fault. And maybe it's okay to make mistakes. And be met with understanding and loving kindness. When I do make a mistake. That's going to be my new normal. I allow that in. It's okay to make mistakes. And it's okay to still receive love when I do. That's normal and that's healthy. So I'm choosing that as my new normal. And I'm releasing this fear of always doing something wrong. I release it out of my body and out of my system. and I allow understanding and loving kindness in. Because I deeply love and accept myself. Even when I make mistakes, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Right, take a deep breath. Good. How do you feel? I want to know. Let me know in the comments below how that was for you. So what tapping does, and I hope you felt a little bit of it. When it's the first time you do it, it can be hard because you're like, what is she tapping? Where is she tapping? What's she doing? What's she saying? But as you do it more and more, you will probably notice more and more of it. It can be in the moment, it can be after the moment. It could be that you've been yawning, it could be that you've been burping. Those are all signs of releasing. So that's good. That's all good signs. Drink a lot of water. That's important. But what you do with tapping is you release these feelings that are just stuck and stored in your body as a way to protect you. And you help your fear brain to see that, maybe it's not the way I thought it was. Maybe that absolute truth I thought I had about, doing something wrong all the time. Maybe that's not true. And so you kind of gently lead your fear brain from that belief to a new belief, all the while releasing and processing all those stored emotions and fears that you have around it. It is a marvelous and very, very powerful tool. So I really hope that this was valuable to you. If you want to know more, you can find so much more on my channel. You can watch these clips, I'm not sure where they are, on what the fearful avoidant attachment style is, and 6 lesser known causes, and the 5 core wounds. I'll link them in the description below also. I am just so happy you're here. I hope you did the tapping and you feel a little bit better now. I really do hope that. Just remember that you are so incredibly valuable.